Hello, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to do the basket weave crochet pattern. Hello, my name's Karen Stangram and welcome to Conquer Crochet, the channel for tips, tricks and techniques for conquering your crochet. Everything I talk about in today's video will be linked in the descriptions below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss a single stitch. So if you're keen to get going with this video, give me a thumbs up and let's do this. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using Starcraft Aran and I'm going to be using a 5mm hook with this. You can do this with a double knit and whatever size it recommends, usually a 4mm hook for the double knit. I'm also going to need a pair of scissors to snip off my ends, and I'm going to use a needle to sew in my ends. So to start off I'm going to make a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to make our foundation chain, and our foundation chain needs to be in multiples of 8. So I'm going to do 3 multiples of 8, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that's 2, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So if you're just making the sample with me now, a chain of 24 should be enough to actually see how the pattern works. But if you'd like to continue this video whilst making a blanket or a cushion, please feel free to crochet your foundation row now in multiples of 8 for however big you would like your project to be. So pause the video now. Okay, so we've made our multiples of 8 for our foundation row. We're now going to chain another 7 for our turning chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're now going to make a treble in the 3rd chain from the hook. So we don't count the one on the hook. So we go 1, 2, 3. And because it's a treble, we yarn over, insert our hook into that 3rd chain, yarn over and pull back 3. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2. So that's your first treble made. And we're going to treble all the way along this chain so that we have a foundation row of trebles to work with before we get to our basket weave pattern. So pause the video now whilst you work your way along your foundation chain, making a treble stitch in each of the chains you've just made. So I'm just coming up to the end of my treble foundation row, got my last one to go in. Just tighten up that corner tail a little bit. So there you have your foundation row of chains and you have your foundation row of trebles with a chain 3 at the beginning, which counts as the treble there. Okay, so we're now going to start the basket weave pattern, and throughout this pattern we're going to be crocheting in front of our posts and behind posts. So I'll put a link in the descriptions below to a standalone tutorial I have just about crocheting in front of and behind posts for you to go and have a look at later if you'd like to find out more details about how it all works. So for the basket weave then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn our work. So we're going to be crocheting in front of the posts, so we're going to be, rather than going into the top of our stitches, we're going to be going around the posts, so either through the front or we'll be going through the back and over the top. So for this one we're going to do the front post, so we're going to yarn over because we're still doing trebles. I'm going to go into this space here, behind that post and back out the other side. Okay, so yarn over into this gap here, behind the post and out the other side. Yarn over and pull your yarn back behind that post and then complete your treble stitch as you would normally. Again, yarn over into the gap, right, this is the one we've just made, so we're going into the gap right next to it, behind the post, back out the other side, yarn over, pull that yarn behind the post, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we need to make 4 of these, so yarn over into the gap behind the post, yarn over, pull back through behind the post, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need to make 1 more front post, so yarn over through the front, behind that post, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So you should have something that looks like this. So these are the stitches we've just made. These are the trebles from the previous row, but it makes it look like one long stitch. Okay, for the next 4 stitches we're going to go through the back. So we're still going to go into the space next to the one we've just crocheted, but instead of going through the front as we've just been doing, we're going through the back. Now if you want to turn your work when you do this, that's fine, it makes it a little bit easier just to see it through the back, absolutely fine. So yarn over, because we're still doing trebles, through the back, over the top of the post and through the back again, yarn over, pull back through in front of the post, so you're coming over the top with that yarn, and then complete your treble. And again, so we're doing patterns of 4 stitches, so through the back, over the post and out the back again, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through the 2, yarn over, pull through the 2. So that's 2 stitches we've done. We need to do 2 more. Yarn over, we've just worked into this one here, so we need to go into the one next to it, insert over the post and back out the back, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and 1 more for this pattern, through the back, over the post and out the back again, yarn over, pull back through in front of the post, back through from the back, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have our front posts and our back posts. So these ones just make the previous trebles look longer. This one gives us a little bit of a ridge, and they're actually just the reverse of each other, because if I turn this over, you'll see that this one looks longer and this one has the ridge, and that's how we end up with the basket effect. Okay, so now we've done 4 front, 4 back. We now do 4 front again, so yarn over, through the front of the fabric, behind the post, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, yarn over, in through the front and out the back, behind that post and out the front again, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and the third one, yarn over into the gap, behind the post and out again, yarn over, pull back through behind the post, and then complete your treble as normal. And the fourth one, yarn over into the gap, behind the post, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have front, excuse me, front, back, front. Now let's do back again. So yarn over, through that gap in the back, over the top of the post and back out the back, yarn over, pull back through, You have your 3 loops on your hook, and then pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we make the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So through the gap, over the post, grab your yarn, pull it back through to the back, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And this pattern just continues all the way along your row, so it's 4 front, 4 back, 4 front, 4 back. So we'd have 4 front, 4 back, and you should finish on the 4 front that we had at the beginning, and you will have just your turning chain left. So continue along in the same manner with your 4 front, 4 back, all the way along your chain till you get to the end, and I will join you back here in a moment. So I'm just coming up to my last front post. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So I'm now left with just my turning chain. So what I'm going to do here is make a half treble into the turning chain, so into the third chain on that turning chain. So it's the same height. Because we're using trebles but the trebles are going lower, our half treble is just the right height for the work we're doing. So we should have a pattern that looks like this. We have our foundation chain and a row of trebles, and then row 2, which is front, back, front, back, front, back, front. Second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn over, and this time we're going to do the reverse. So whereas we started with fronts, we're going to start with backs this time, which will match up with what we have here. As I said before, the front is just the reverse of a back. So we've chained our 2, we've turned, yarn over. We don't go round this first turning chain here. We go into that gap, through the back. So I've yarned over, through the back, over the post, yarn over, pull back through, and then complete your treble as normal. So now we're going into this gap here. So yarn over, through the back, over the post, yarn over, pull back, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going into this space here. Yarn over, through the back, over the post, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the back, over the post and out the back again, yarn over, pull through to the back, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So you can see we're now just getting a bigger square effect, which will help us with our basket weave. So we've done our 4 backs, we now do our 4 fronts. So yarn over, and be careful that you don't go through the bottom part here. We want to go through the top part of the stitch, and you'll see that there is a sort of 2 parts to this with some yarn going through it. So we're going through the top, not the bottom. So yarn over into that space behind the post and back out again, yarn over, pull the yarn behind the post and complete your treble. So again we're going into this top space here, yarn over into the space behind and making sure we're coming out through the top space and not the bottom space on the next one. Yarn over, pull your yarn back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Through the top of that one, she says. Yarn over, pull back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then into this space here, around the back of the post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So we have our 4 backs, 4 fronts. Now we do 4 backs again. And as we did before, we're just going to continue this pattern all the way down our fabric until we get to the end. So it's 4 backs, 4 fronts, 4 backs, 4 fronts, 4 backs, 4 fronts, 4 backs. Okay, and I will join you when we get to the end of this row. So pause the video now. So I'm just coming up to the end of my row. So I've got one last back post to do. And then at the end of the row, we did a chain 2 as a turning chain. So 1, 2, I'm going to make a half treble in that second stitch. So yarn over, insert my hook, if it will let me. Come on. Yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through all 3 on my hook. Okay, so you can really see the square appearing now for our basket weave. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn our work. So we had our foundation row and our row of trebles. Then we did front stitch in our first one, and when we turned it over we did back stitch so that we would end up with this square. We now need to do the reverse. So if you've got 2 front stitches here, we have to have our back stitches. So we're going to yarn over and go through the back this time. Remember not to go around the turning chain, to go through the gap after the turning chain, over the post, yarn over and pull back through. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm going a little bit quicker here because we've already done how to do these stitches. If you're struggling with the stitches, as I said before, there is a detailed tutorial on how to do front and back posts, or you could go back to the beginning of this video and watch how I did them. I did them fairly slowly at the beginning to show you how to actually make those front and back post trebles. You can also slow down videos, so if you'd like to watch them in sort of slower motion, I can't say it is slow motion but slower, that can be really useful as well. So if you just go into the video settings, you should be able to slow down. So yarn over, this time we're going into the front posts. So we're going through the front, behind the post and out again. Yarn over, pull through and complete your treble. And again we're making 4 of these. So each of these will be 4 front posts, 4 back posts, 4 front posts, 4 back posts. And that's basically just how the pattern goes all the way through. So now we're going to do back posts. 1, 2, 3, oops, 3 and 4, and continue on your row now. So with your 4 front posts, your 4 back posts, 4 front, 4 back, and I will join you at the end of this row. So I've just come to the end of my row. Need to make sure that I do my half treble in my chains. So 1, 2, yarn over, insert my hook. These are pesky, these chains. Come on, go through. Thank you. And make your half treble. Okay, so you can really see the basket weave starting to come into effect. It's sort of almost like a checkerboard. So we're going to chain 2. So last time we started with back posts, This time we're going to do front post because it's the reverse of what we've just done. So yarn over, remembering not to do the chains, and make your front post. Trebles in sets of 4. So gone through the wrong stitch there. 3 and 4. And then into the back posts of the next 4. So continue this along, and I will join you at the end of this row. So it's 4 front, 4 back, 4 front, 4 back, all the way along your crochet fabric. So pause the video now. Okay, so we've come to the end of our line here, and we need to make our half treble into the second chain from the turning chain. And there we have completed the pattern for the basket weave. So we had our foundation row and a row of trebles. Then in our first row that we crocheted, we did fronts, then backs. In the second row we crocheted, we did backs, then fronts. In the third row we crocheted, we did backs, then fronts. And then in the fourth row we crocheted, we did fronts, then backs. Okay, so that's the pattern. It's front, back, back, front. And you do repeat those 4 rows all the way along your work until you have the width of work that you want to work with. I really hope you found today's tutorial useful. If there are any information that you need to find out about this video, have a look in the descriptions below where I post all the links to any freebies and other videos I think you might find useful. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, to give me a thumbs up below. Don't forget also to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you've enjoyed it and you'd like to see more of my tutorial videos. There are 2 other videos on screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!